Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zymax, and I'm your chief show attendant. On behalf of the two hosts and the rest of the crew, welcome aboard Weird Wednesday Flight number 13, non-stop, from your current location to parts unknown. Our flight will be at about 2 hours, and we'll be flying at the speed of sound. At this time, make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position, and that your seatbelt is currently fastened. Enjoy the ride.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to Weird Wednesday. As it is Wednesday, once again, midnight my time. No, 11. I don't even know what time. It's midnight. Jamie's got the early night out there. Jason's kind of like an hour behind me.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's only 9 o'clock here. I'm still
Enjoying my
having
spring
my-
break. That's why I'm with you.
Ah,
My kid's spring break, I should say.
yep.
My spring break, too.
Yeah, it was all nice here in Florida, and then all of a sudden it got cold again. I don't know what's up with that.
It's nice today. I'm going to get rain. I'm going to regret not getting more stuff done on my vacation before the rain. Whoops.
I
Like
try
the
to.
gutters.
I have a list of stuff that I got to get done every day, and I'm just like failing miserably at it.
I've been pretty progressive.
I'm getting a few things
Really?
done. I get sidetracked easy. How's everybody in the chat doing tonight? Let's see, a bunch of people showing up. So we got some weird news. We got, I got a couple Florida stories. Hey, go figure.
No.
Yeah, Florida's never short on weirdness. So,
Or
Drugs are bad.
yeah, exactly. There was some drugs or alcohol involved in this incident.
Yep.
Most likely, you can usually tell by the pictures. They have that crazed, like, we really, like, oh shit, I'm going to jail. Where am I going to get my next? Yeah. Cool.
It's because you guys are next to that water wasteway I showed you.
Yeah, I had a few people sending me that article. And and maybe, drinking that contaminated, tainted water.
There's an actual, like, what is it? A water contamination
Oh,
reservoir?
that's lovely.
Yeah.
So I wonder if people like that are like drinking from that, like
Well,
siphoning
I mean,
water.
I live in Florida. It's a freaking sandbar and a swamp. So, you can go pee in the yard and that's going to like go down into the water table. So who knows, You live in California, your state's going to like fall off into the ocean one day. You got mountains and cliffs and all that. I just live on a sandbar. We're just going to get
Yeah,
washed.
yours in a sink.
Yeah.
We might join up with Hawaii,
Yeah,
float off like a
California might become an
little
island.
palm tree. You're just sunken city.
But between the both of us, it seems like Jason gets the most water in his house.
Yeah.
I
Might as well
know.
live in Florida.
uh,
Why I regret not getting out and cleaning the gutters before the rain comes. Whoops.
yeah.
Oh gosh, not already. Okay, I'm almost
April
done.
showers. Better than golden showers.
That's true.
Oh my gosh, poor Debbie Jason. And the fact that she didn't know it was the first time.
It wasn't the first time. Last time we had
I
her on the show,
know.
I think she said it. I can't hold it back every time.
She was a good sport the first time, and I thought she got it then.
Yep.
She forgot all about it.
And then I thought, oh, yeah. And he said it again, and then he told. I'm like,
I
oh.
tried. I had like 1 second. You can hear it if you go back and watch. I'll have 1 second of me going.
She was laughing. She was laughing on the side. She was messaging me. She was laughing at one of your like poopy jokes. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, I have a humor of a 5-year-old. I can't help it. But
As do I.
My share button once again.
But your golden showers just distracted me from.
you can't get your share button to work.
There.
Oh,
Not
there it is.
every
There
time.
we go.
Every time it gives me hell.
Oh, there's the Florida woman look.
There's the Florida woman.
Oh
Look, exactly.
yes.
You know, there was something
Whoop.
involved. Yeah, this one. You see what the headlines there. Woman said she attacked her sister with an EpiPen because she was allergic to drunks.
Oh, shit.
Naples, Florida. A Florida woman told police she stabbed her sister with an EpiPen after the two had drinks because she was allergic to drunks.
I'm allergic to idiots.
Meth all the way, right?
Yeah, drinks and exactly. WKMG reports police were responding to a 911 hang-up in Naples, Florida neighborhood when they found Joanna Zelensky, 62, and her sister, who share a home together. Zelensky's sister, the victim, told police that the two had been having drinks that night, but Zelensky kept drinking after her sibling went to bed. The victim then said her sister went crazy, Florida woman crazy, and began stabbing her with an EpiPen.
So she was asleep?
She was
So
asleep.
it wasn't like she was actually drunk in her face.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, she would. Oh, wow. I think she was doing more than drunk.
Being stabbed with an EpiPen?
Yeah,
that's more than alcohol.
exactly. The police report said Zelensky stabbed her sister several times, even leaving a welt on her thigh. When questioned about the attack, Zelensky told police, "I'm allergic to drunks, so I injected her with the EpiPen so she wouldn't be drunk anymore. What's the big deal?"
Okay, I'm not giving my kryptonite, but there's things that people could be allergic to that could actually kill them.
Yeah.
Well, she's still lucky it was an EpiPen and not a knife.
Yeah. Well, apparently she didn't get any of the epi in her because officials say the victim was not injected with any medication due to the way Zelensky was holding the device. They added that the EpiPen belonged to the suspect. Records showed Zelensky has a history of violence towards her sister.
Shocking.
And her sister had decided to press charges this time after the most recent
This time?
this time.
Really?
She's going to let her out.
Zelensky was booked on domestic violence charges. Yeah, this time. She's like, I've had it. You're not stabbing me anymore. I've had it. This is number 10. You've reached your limit. So there's Florida woman number 1.
No, we got
I've
Florida
known
man.
some people that have almost died off of things like epinephrine.
Yep. So what do you got, Jamie?
Well, I was going to go over the Salem 400-year anniversary. It was a month ago, and the cool thing about it is they're having you send in cards and things for it, and they're giving an extended timeline to send them in, and all these cards are going to be part of the history. But I think I'm going to start with an update on an article we had last week regarding the oily pennies. A Georgia man who received 91,515 pennies as a final paycheck cashes out. Coinstar came to the aid of the man who found the gargantuan pile of oil-soaked pennies on his driveway, courtesy of his former employer. A Georgia man who received his final paycheck and over $90,000 or 90,000 oil-soaked pennies from a disgruntled former employer has experienced a change for the better, finally cashing out his huge chunk of coins. He originally found a pile of 91,515 pennies on his driveway in March with a note attached to them that read, "Fuck you."
Oh, jeez.
According to interviews given, the penny pile was the work of Miles Walker. He's the owner of the body shop in Peachtree, Georgia. OK Walker Auto Works. Walker had reportedly denied Flatten his last paycheck, and only after Flatten contracted, he gave in after Flatten contacted the Department of Labor. Coinstar, known for its coin cashing kiosks, came to Flatten's assistance after his story went viral. The company picked up the heap of coins, which Flatten had stored in a wheelbarrow with wheels that had deflated from the staggering weight, and gave him $1,000 in cash. It was a shock and frustrating to be paid in this manner, and it was the extra burden that the pennies were covered with an oily substance, he said. I was spending an hour or two a night trying to clean the pennies and
think he
probably
peed on the
only
pennies.
cleaned off about $5 worth. Dumped some Coca-Cola on it.
Yeah, he peed on them.
The
Pressure washer.
CEO of Coinstar said the company processes approximately 41 billion coins annually, so picking up 91,000 pennies was all in a day's work. And in this coin shortage, maybe that's a good thing. His girlfriend, who had previously posted footage of the oil-soaked coins on social media, called Walker an asshole who made unnecessary comments about my boyfriend's daughter and was just an all-around dick. She celebrated the coin conversation. These are just great.
He actually got more
Can you
money. 'cause
imagine the arguments at work? I mean, this was a
you
what,
said
an auto body
91,000
shop?
pennies? There were 91,000 pennies?
Shoot.
Was it 91,000 pennies?
Yeah,
And they gave him $1,000?
91,515.
I say, I mean, then he got a little extra money for if he got 1,000.
Well, Coinstar gets, because I was trying to think, they keep changing it to the 91 and the 9115. They get a percentage of like what you get out, right?
Yeah, well, he actually made more money than what the pennies should technically be worth, because it'd be $910. So he would gotten above that if it's 91,000.
Maybe it's a Coinstar, maybe it overloaded and just said, "Oh, screw it, here's $1,000."
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
normally-
cool. He made extra more money.
Yeah, normally you don't really go to Coinstar and put 91,000 pennies.
So he says, we'll take this directly to our processing partner. It'll be clean, wrapped, counted, recirculated. So if you end up with some like oily change, chances are maybe
He
you got
peed on
some
him.
of this guy's pennies.
I guarantee the dick that gave him all those pennies peed on him.
Yeah, probably.
I don't even want to know what that guy did all over them pennies before he dumped them off. Probably rolled around all naked underneath snow angels.
Penny.
On
Did the
his
Scrooge
bed,
McDuck? Did the
posed
Scrooge
out
McDuck
with all
into it?
pennies.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh?
Did the Scrooge McDuck into the pile of pennies? Like jump in and go.
Well, on to Florida woman number 2. This one was not super recent. This was a while back, but thought it was worth mentioning. Missing woman found naked inside a Florida storm drain. How she got there is bizarre.
I cut that one from the last World Wide Web of Weird, actually. Yeah, I almost was
Did
going to do
you?
it. My wife's like, oh, well, it's just, I mean, people end up and do crazy shit. Like, okay.
43-year-old
That
woman who had been missing for 3 weeks was rescued Tuesday after she was found trapped inside a storm drain just a few feet away from a busy Delray Beach thoroughfare. She was naked. She was naked and unable to stand on her own. Yeah, exactly. Again, drugs and alcohol probably involved in this incident. The bizarre rescue began early Tuesday during rush hour with a Good Samaritan heard yelling coming from a drain on Atlantic Avenue and called 911. According to Delray Beach Fire Rescue, how she ended up in the drain was more unusual. The woman told officers she went for a swim in a canal near her boyfriend's home in West Delray Beach on March 3rd. According to Delray Beach Police, while she was swimming, she came across a doorway near a shallow part of the canal. She stated she entered the doorway and noticed a tunnel. According to the report, she became curious and began walking down the tunnel, which led to another tunnel.
Curiouser. There's a door. Where
I'm
shall
going
I
down this
go?
rabbit hole.
Where does it lead? Maybe it goes to Alice in Wonderland. These drugs better be good.
Yep.
And she goes, oh, they were good, honey.
She went through the tunnels, tunnel after tunnel, until she became lost.
Follow the white rabbit.
Yep. On March 3rd, after 9 p.m., her boyfriend
Or the
reported
dragon.
her missing. Police say they don't know how long the woman was in the tunnels. The woman claims she was walking in the tunnels lost for about 3 weeks until she saw some light and decided to sit there because she saw people walking by, according to the report. It's unclear how long it took for someone to notice her. There's a lady stuck in the sewer. Yes, ma'am. She cannot get out. She's screaming for help. She don't have no clothes on.
I love the Florida people iterations. Rob, do that again. That was awesome.
She don't have no clothes on.
Sounds like the mom from Honey Boo Boo.
According to the recording of the call for the Miami Herald obtained through public record request, the woman told the operator she was in the car with her windows down when she heard screaming. You hurt, the driver asked the trapped woman. Nope, she answers.
Nope.
Nope, just naked and stuck in a hole. Can you throw me a rope? The woman had several scrapes. She was dirty and disheveled and could not stand on her own to grasp the ladder because she'd been stuck in a damn hole for 3 weeks or a tunnel or whatever.
Wait, how long?
Maybe
3
she
weeks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe-
no.
Maybe she went
Where are
swimming
you?
without her. Maybe she went skinny dipping and then decided to go
I thought it was 3 days.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
She
She was a regular old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Exactly. The woman was wrapped in a sheet briefly, so rescuers and officers, everybody didn't have to see her naked, but she was treated for dehydration. Blah 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 blah. Her mother told police she has a history of mental illness and is known for doing odd things.
Shocking.
Oh, here it comes. She's known for doing odd things and
Here it
making
is.
bad decisions when she's high on drugs. According to the report, police said she was a methadone patient, but at her last dose, she had her last dose the day prior to her disappearance. So, who knows?
She did the methadone, and then she went out and did some other new drugs.
Yeah.
Yay! Yeah. And let's go swimming.
Let's go swimming naked in the canal. Look at there. There's
Find doorways to
Naked
wonderful,
women
magical
and
worlds.
liquid. I got one for you.
man sakes alive.
She's
Florida.
lucky to be alive.
Yeah. It's lucky alligator didn't get her, and then the snakes ate her, and
Probably didn't want
Just
to touch her. All the drugs
dehydration.
coming out of her body. They're probably like, I don't want that.
Yeah, I'm not biting that.
I don't feel like tripping again, man, after the last one. That's what the alligator said. Or cocktail.
Yeah. Exactly.
Man, last time I tripped balls.
What, after eating a Floridian?
Yep.
Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
So its eyes
So-
rolled over white because it was so high.
There's a
Hate that
story
Florida
been going.
person.
There's a story been going around that what is her name?
If she's from Florida, it's fine. Just say Florida
An
woman.
Amy Poehler lookalike. Okay, that
Oh,
Amy Poehler had done this, but it wasn't Amy Poehler. Snopes got it all figured out. It's a Miami stripper arrested for squirting vaginal fluids at police
Jesus.
officers in self-defense.
Where was this at?
The story
She
associated.
does look like her. Jeez.
I
Poor
did a
Amy
side by
Poehler.
side. Yeah. The story associated with the mugshot is actually fake, according to Snopes. It was written by the World News Report.
Oh yeah, God. Well, of course it's fake. They write the craziest, stupidest headlines. I mean, oh my God. Oh God. Why do people believe that stuff?
Yeah, so she did not squirt vaginal fluid.
Hey,
At the
she's from
police
Yeah,
Florida.
officer.
they just find mugshots of people and then they make up like a great. Ooh, look at this mugshot. It looks like crazy man eats squirrels and then poops on somebody's shed. Okay, here we go. That's the headline. That's what he looks like. They put it up. That's what they do. World Daily News Report people. It's fake news.
But Amy Poehler was getting a lot of slack for this.
See, Jesus.
And they had like Twitter after Twitter, all these things.
Twitter, of course, yeah. Twitter.
This,
It's stupid.
This caused a lot of problems
I quit
before
Twitter.
they put out the corrected article.
It would have been better if she was holding a can of squirt in her.
I'm all for freedom of speech and I don't want them banning people, but I see them fact check all this stuff all the time. If it has anything Donald Trump Republican related, damn straight there's a fact check on Facebook for it. But do I see fact checks for World Daily News Report? No, I don't, because it should be obvious to people that it is fake news. But maybe they should spend more time putting fact checks on those things for people like poor Amy Poehler here.
Exactly.
Jesus.
Speaking of that, I was setting up my a new Facebook account for my business, and as I'm going through the things, it's asking questions to set your profile up, and I get to, what is your political stance or whatever? I'm like, why the fuck?
What?
No,
My political stance is fuck you. That's my political stance. Fuck you. None of your business, bitch.
You thinking?
Yep.
Other the fuck?
That was pretty much my reply.
This show's not for children.
No.
We're almost Sue. We're a little more
No, this
friendly.
is not a show for children.
Well,
in fact, we make sure to hit the not for children, not 18 button. So there's no question.
damn, I forget to do that every time. So, speaking of trolls and internet, what's the other word? Not hackers.
Douchebags. What?
Yeah, douchebags. Nowadays everything's trolling this, trolling that.
I'm offended.
Yeah. Well,
destroy that person utterly.
Soy-grown babies.
I'm offended. Destroy their lives completely. They can't work anywhere. I don't want to see them anywhere on social media. Thank you.
All soy-grown.
Well, back in the day, speaking of back in the day, 1987. Before trolls and internet trolling and all that stuff was a big hit.
Douchebaggery.
Who remembers this? This isn't new news. This is way old news, but I just thought it was,
Oh, Max Headroom, man.
Yeah,
Yes.
hell yeah.
Max Headroom. Does anybody remember when 2 TV stations in Chicago got hacked and
Yes.
this Max Headroom came
'Cause
up?
I was on that network. Yes.
Yes. Well, in
I thought it
case
was so cool.
in case nobody saw that, you may remember it, but you may not have seen it. Well, we have the video. The original.
I remember it. I remember seeing it.
Yeah, this was he came on. Well, let me just read the damn article real quick. It's a short one.
I thought it was Max Headroom coming back. They're gonna have a
I know.
TV show and everything. I was like, "Woo, it's Max Headroom!" And I realized that some guy hacked in and just dressed as Max Headroom. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yep. Long before the word hacking or trolling was a part of our national vocabulary, 2 Chicago television stations in 1987 were briefly taken over by a mysterious hacker who interrupted broadcast signals and appeared on screen wearing a Max Headroom mask and sunglasses. The
This
first
is when hacking was cool.
Yeah, exactly. When you did it old school, you needed a whole room of computers to do it. The first attack happened during a news segment and lasted just 25 seconds, in which the Headroom character said and did nothing. But in the second intrusion during an 11 p.m. broadcast of Doctor Who broadcast on PBS, the guy dressed like Max mooned the audience and was spanked with a fly swatter. What did it all mean? Who was responsible? And what in the
I
world?
didn't see the second part.
Oh, we got it. There have been several theories about who did it, and there's been a ton of talk over Reddit for years. And some say it was a disgruntled employee from one of the TV stations. Some say it's two brothers in the Chicago area. The bottom line is, since 1987, no one has ever been caught or fessed up to this historic hacking of a couple of Chicago TV stations. And here is the second video that was interrupted during the Doctor Who.
That almost made me laugh my bindi off when you said the fly swatter.
Oh, yeah.
It's glued on.
You should have forgotten with the old ones of your tribe. But
you
it's the
better
only way
watch
to
it, buddy.
learn.
I'll get you a hot drink, miss.
Drink some dry clothing.
He's a freaking nerd. Chips worse than freaking Jesus.
He's so high.
What's the way? Your love is fading.
Somebody got really high but knew how to hack
Oh,
into
wow.
the TV networks. And they did it.
Oh, my files.
My bile? I don't know.
Oh, I just made a giant masterpiece for all the greatest world newspaper nerds.
He's talking about pooping. Okay.
Oh, he is on one.
My brother is wearing the other one. But it's dirty. It's got footprints on it. Oh, they're coming to get me.
That needs to be a GIF.
To be a fly in the wall with all those network heads
Well,
that
I can tell
people
that's
working it.
shock. We died instantly. The generator.
So
I
there you
have
go.
it still playing on my side delay.
Yep. So if you missed the original Max Headroom intrusion, well, Max Headroom impersonator intrusion on national TV, there you go. Pretty weird. Yeah,
It was two people probably that had really good knowledge of how to do it, and they got high really night, and all those ambitions just lowered, and they're like, "Let's do it, let's hack in."
This is the night.
yeah. Well, like Max Headroom, originally, I mean, he was supposed to be, the world's first AI,
Yeah.
reporter or
Mhm.
whatever. And one of the theories is there's two brothers that live right there in the Chicago area, and if you heard him in that one part, he's like, "My brother's wearing the other glove, but
Yeah.
it's dirty."
Yeah, two brothers got real baked
Yep.
and had technical knowledge.
Yeah, they had. There's
They were
several people
obliterated.
that said they went over to their house, and they said that I forget the guys' names, but the guy they think is behind the mask they said he was kind of autistic, but he was super smart and really good with computers, and they showed a room just computer shit everywhere.
Sounds about right.
And but
That's what I pictured. Somebody got him high.
yeah,
It's like, let's do it.
yeah.
Mhm.
Since 1987, the FCC, everybody, I mean, the FCC was like, "We're gonna catch them." I watched an interview with the FCC, and they're like, "We're gonna catch them. We're gonna find out who did this." No, you're not. They were smart enough to do it, and they were smart enough to cover their tracks while they did it. And not only did they do it
beautiful.
once, they did it twice.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
But yeah, that was like a retro weird news fact, but it's still relevant today because they still haven't been caught.
Well, we've got a real life Forrest Gump on our hands.
I'm tired now. Thank God. Go home.
Johnny. Jenny.
A Texas man. No, we need. I was running. Find that one.
Yeah.
Texas man runs from Disneyland to Disney World. April 7th, a Texas man has become the first person to run from Disneyland in California to Walt Disney World in Florida, a journey of about 2,761 miles. Don Luchow, 59, of Plano, said he began his run on February 1st, 2020, and had planned to complete the run in about 90 days. But the coronavirus pandemic led to some unexpected delays. He said the run still took about 90 days, but
Excuse
those days were spread out over the course of 14 months for safety reasons. I was going to say. Muchow, whose run was aimed at raising awareness for type 1 diabetes, arrived at Disney World Monday. I never considered quitting even once, he told the Orange County Register. COVID didn't change my mission. I want every single person with type 1 diabetes to see that we can still dream big despite the very real 24/7 challenges and risks involved in balancing insulin, blood glucose, food, and activity. The runner said his original plan had been to run from the Pacific Ocean to Florida's Space coast, with only a brief stop at Disneyland toward the beginning of his journey, but a conversation with a friend inspired him to change his plans and visit both the Disney parks. He was greeted by a crowd of supporters, including Disney World employees, when he arrived at the park. But his original plan of spending the day at the Magic Kingdom will have to wait for coronavirus precautions to ease.
I'm trying to find a Forrest Gump clip for you, man. There, it's like, just give me the Gump.
I was running.
That wasn't it. Sorry.
Well,
Mickey better be out there like waving them in.
If I was going somewhere, I was running.
There you go. Sorry, it took so long.
all right. That's all I got, except for the.
I hope he flicked them off
400th
when he got to
anniversary.
Disneyland, and then when he got to Disney World, he flicked them off too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Fuck Disney.
Disney.
Sad, even wearing my Star Wars shirt. It's heartbreaking. Star Wars is dead. If you didn't hear,
Disney is
Disney
some of
killed
the
it.
most evil of the evil.
Yeah.
Sheep in wolf's clothing. Wolf
Darcy's
in
brother,
sheep's clothing.
Darcy's brother went there this weekend and took his daughter's daughter, little niece, whatever, I don't know. Took the little kid to Disney. And, got there and figured, you got to wear a mask in Disney, right? I mean, everybody's got to wear a mask. But, like when I got to wear a mask, I wear these things, And he had his own mask. No, you can't wear your own mask in Disney. It has to be a surgical mask. And if you don't have one of those.
here's one for $15.
Yeah, exactly. You got to buy one. You got to buy a freaking Disney.
$35.
There's a way to make a buck. They're going to make a buck, buddy.
Yep,
It's Disney
yep.
World.
Yep. They're probably like, we're losing money. We're going to sell $10 million worth of masks every day.
Well, tonight we're going to do our true crime on the anniversary of Kurt Cobain's death, which was yesterday.
Well, April 5th is probably when he died. They found his body on the 8th. I think it was the 8th. I think they found the body. He died on the 5th, most likely.
I'm going to say it, Jamie.
Say it.
He probably didn't smell like Teen Spirit.
Bump, bump. No, see, my mom. I don't know. If my mom was watching, she'd know. Like, I was a huge Nirvana fan.
Oh, me
like, it was my
too.
favorite. It was my favorite band. I was like totally into them. I remember getting in Euro for Christmas and like just rocking it out. And my mom like, come out of the bedroom and spend time with the family. God damn it! I'm like, I'm listening to Rape Me right now, Mom. Leave me alone.
I was obsessed.
When you grow up later and you go, oh, I'm so sorry, Mom. Like thinking about her. With the family, here I am playing Rape Me. I'm sorry, Mom. But I loved Nirvana. I loved it. And I was like, I remember where I was in the day. My cousin called me. He goes, "Did you hear what happened?" I'm like, because he knew I was such a big fan. I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Kurt Cobain killed himself." I'm like, "What?" No, I like read their whole like biography, Come As You Are. Like I had the Italian box set, like all the special stuff you couldn't get in any store or audio. This is before the internet where you could like download this stuff.
Yeah,
I had
you
all
got
that.
the
I mean,
box
vinyl.
sets and all that.
I have the vinyl copy of their their live album, whatever the Unplugged.
Yeah,
I
album on
sold
vinyl.
my collection, and I had like the original like unwrapped cassettes of the Baby Weenie, like that one, and all that
Well,
stuff I sold.
As a kid who grew up in the '90s, playing in grunge bands, knowing all these kids that played that loved Nirvana and all that. I mean, I remember when it happened, a bunch of kids killed themselves
Yeah.
around then. And now,
After his service, didn't a kid go and an 18-year-old
right
shot
after his
himself?
service, went and killed himself. 28-year-old killed himself right after it.
yeah.
This is the thing, like imagine this whole lie, all these kids and this whole industry, like based on, he killed himself, and what if that's a whole lie? They covered this in 2015. There's a Soaked in Bleach documentary. It's really good. A guy named Tom. Now I forgot his last name. Grant.
Yeah.
Tom Grant. Was a private investigator Courtney Love hired during the time, like around April 3rd, April 4th of the time she's saying he's missing. All right, I'm going to lay this out for you, the whole thing, before we get into our ITC,
Well, what
I
we
guess.
can do is we're
Yeah.
going to go to a break. So we have like
All
a
right.
10-minute thing intro that he's going to play, and we're going to take a little break, and then we'll...
And I sent you that Dropbox file of the World
right.
Wide Web of Weird with the scenes in there and all that.
Perfect. You got
Yeah,
this.
we're gonna get this. I'm gonna get my ghost box set up, and we'll get it going. Yeah, Jamie got a little movie, and yeah, I'm a little older than both y'all, and I went and saw Nirvana at a little club, a kick-ass club here in
I
Jacksonville.
wanted to.
This was way back in the day. I saw him for like $5 at a club called Einstein A Go Go in Jack's Beach.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, like it
I
was.
wish I
like,
could have been there.
It was raw, like right there.
See, I wanted that they were going to be my first band. I ended up seeing Primus, but they were going to be my first band I was going to go see as a teenager on my own with friends or whatever, but without my parents, you know what I'm saying? They were
Yeah.
going to be my first band. I had it all planned. I was like, going to go see Nirvana. They were, supposed to be coming to Chicago. They would have broke up if he hadn't been murdered.
That's where the
but
flannels and
I met
stuff
Dave Grohl,
came
though.
from.
I met Dave Grohl years later. I got to shake his hand. Real nice guy, actually.
Yeah. Well, cool. We're going to go to commercial break. We will be right back. Maybe.
This is Jason Bland, host of Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup, where we stream live as a webcast every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, with guests who will blow your mind. Live ghost box sessions where you can call into the show to see if the spirits will talk to you, and the World Wide Web of Weird with the latest in paranormal news and evidence. We're bringing the weird every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow and subscribe.
Do you like rock and roll? Do you enjoy a good story? Wish You Were Here, A Rock Fantasy, is a book inspired by Badfinger. It will not only entertain you, but intrigue you. What's it about? While Thomas is searching for his bandmate and friend in heaven, he meets an old friend and famous new ones in his afterlife voyage. Reader's favorite hails Wish You Were Here, A Rock Fantasy as a whimsical, speculative novel by author Joyce Isaacson. Midwest Book Review said, Wish You Were Here, A Rock Fantasy is a book inspired by Badfinger. It's a quirky story by Joyce S. Isaacson. It is a unique, original, and deftly crafted metaphysical novel that showcases the author's genuine flair for character and narrative-driven entertainment that is simply riveting from first page to last. Now available on pennantpublication.com. Also available on Amazon in paperback and hardcover. Also on Kindle Unlimited. So check it out now. Wish You Were Here, A Rock Fantasy.
The night is alive. Join us and take a walk on the weird side when you tune in to the Kingdom of Nye, hosted by Heather Wade, the finest in late night talk. Listen live free weeknights starting at 9 p.m. Pacific time at thekingdomofnye.com, talkstreamlive.com, and the Paranormal Radio app. Wanna take a ride?
So yeah, we're gonna do a Voices from Beyond crime scene investigation with the Ghost Box, and gonna do it on Kurt Cobain. And to set it up, here's a little video that will go along with it. Damn share button. Okay, here we go.
I'm not a death rocker, and I don't wear black. Kurt Cobain, February 20th, 1967 to April 5th, 1994. So yesterday was his anniversary, and there are a lot of discrepancies regarding this case to where it could be something more sinister than suicide. I'm going to skip through this article I have here where these photographs were from. It's put together from a gentleman who has some different friends that work in different resources. Basically, they're talking about the fact that they fought a lot. Just after they moved into this home, Love and Cobain had an argument, and Kurt locked himself in a room. Love feared that Kurt was going to kill himself and called the police. They came and confiscated 3 handguns, a semi-automatic rifle, and 25 boxes of ammo. Somebody had told him, one of his friends, and this is hearsay, I heard that Kurt once said something about joining the 27 Club, which is a group of famous musicians who all died at age 27, and that he purposely committed suicide at the age of 27 for that reason. On Friday, April 8th, 1994, at 8:40 in the morning, an electrician named Gary Smith had come to install a burglar alarm. He was told the occupants were out of town. Upon looking in the window of the greenhouse above the garage, where Kurt's gray Volvo was still parked, he discovered Kurt. Coroners estimated he had been dead for 3 days. He was wearing jeans and a light-colored t-shirt. And then there's a picture of his foot that will circulate through here. And his foot was shown just inside the window. They've got other photos of him, but they're very graphic. He was in such a bad condition that they had to use fingerprints to actually identify him.
That's false. I'll tell you later.
So Gary said, at the time I saw this body lying there on the floor, first I thought it was a mannequin. Then I noticed it had blood in the right ear. Then I saw the shotgun lying across his chest, pointing up at his chin. On the floor next to his body was his driver's license, and on a shelf about 10 feet away, speared into a potted plant by a pen, was his one-page suicide note written in red ink. So they have a real copy of the note, which will circulate through here also. They had it transcribed. The note states, Speaking from the tongue of an experienced simpleton who obviously would rather be an emasculated infantile complainee, this note should be pretty easy to understand. All the warnings from the Punk Rock 101 courses over the years, since my first introduction to the, shall we say, ethics involved with independence and embracement of your community, has proven to be very true. I haven't felt the excitement of listening to as well as creating music along with reading and writing for many years now. I feel guilty beyond words about these things. For example, when we're backstage and the lights go out and the manic roar of the crowd begins, it doesn't affect me the way in which it did for Freddie Mercury, who seemed to relish in the love and adoration of the crowd. It's something that I totally admire and envy. The fact is, I can't fool you, any of you. It simply isn't fair to you or me. The worst crime I can think of would be to rip people off by faking it and pretending as if I'm having 100% fun. Sometimes I feel as if I should have a punch-in time clock before I walk on stage. I've tried everything within my power to appreciate it. And I do, God believe me, I do, but it's not enough. I appreciate the fact that we have affected and entertained a lot of people. I must be one of those narcissists who only appreciate things when they're gone. I'm too sensitive. I need to be slightly numb in order to regain the enthusiasm I once had as a child. On our last 3 tours, I've had much better appreciation for all the people I've known personally and as fans of our music, but I still can't get over the frustration, the guilt, and empathy I have for everyone. There's good in all of us, and I think I simply love people too much. So much that it makes me feel too fucking sad. This sad little, sensitive, unappreciative Pisces. Jesus, man. Why don't you just enjoy it? I don't know. I have a goddess of a wife who sweats ambition and empathy, and a daughter who reminds me too much of what I used to be, full of love and joy, kissing every person she meets because everyone is good and will do her no harm. And that terrifies me to the point where I can barely function. I can't stand the thought of Francis becoming the miserable, self-destructive death rocker that I've become. I have it good, very good, and I'm grateful. But since the age of 7, I've become hateful towards all humans in general, only because it seems so easy for people to get along and have empathy, only because I love and feel sorry for people too much, I guess. Thank you all from the pit of my burning, nauseous stomach for your letters and concern during the past years. I'm too much of an erratic, moody baby. I don't have the passion anymore, and so remember, it's better to burn out than to fade away. Peace, love, empathy. Kurt Cobain. Francis and Courtney, I'll be at your altar. Please keep going, Courtney, for Francis. For her life will be so much happier without me. I love you. I love you. Thanks so much, you guys. I'm not a death
Damn it.
rocker no more. So then when I went to look at an article where a detective had been asked some questions, the assistant to the medical examiner, when they received the autopsy report, the person remembered leaning back in their chair and giving a whoa after seeing the morphine level Kurt had in his system. It also showed track marks, and there were several grams of black tar heroin left in his kit. So it does look like he had some drugs in him too. I think that's where to cut.
The whole part that he wasn't recognizable and they had to do the fingerprints comes from an original news report on MTV that said that, and it wasn't correct at all. I mean, you hear from the guy's statement, he said he looked like a mannequin, and then he realized he had blood coming out of his ears, and his face wasn't blown apart at all. He was totally identifiable. Now that note, the speculation on the whole note thing is that Rosemary, I can't remember her last name, the attorney for Kurt and Courtney talked to this Tom Grant during this whole thing was going down, then denied it later. Didn't deny that she talked to him, just would not comment on anything he said. That she said, she found pages in Courtney's purse, notes as traceable, like she was learning how to trace somebody else's writing. And you notice, if you look at the suicide note, it's this really bunched together part, and then at the end you see these bigger writing.
Yeah.
And that's the part that talks like saying goodbye to his daughter and his wife. Like that was all stamped in there.
See,
the
I
other
feel
part,
like
a lot of people
that-
think that was his quitting the band.
Exactly.
Letter he wrote in Rome.
Or something he had in a journal or something that, either he was going to release it or his feelings that he was writing down.
Well, he was going to quit the band. That was known. He was going to quit the band, and that note sounds like his beginning, at least, of a letter he was writing to the band to quit. And I mean, this has been confirmed. He was going to go off and record, and the Geffen Records was not happy about this. He wanted to quit the band, go off. He already booked studio time to record a solo acoustic album because he was like, he did that whole wanted to do something more down to earth. He didn't want to stand. I mean, lazy as Kurt is, but he didn't want to do the whole. He loved the whole relaxed playing the songs, just writing music. He just didn't feel the band thing anymore, and that was going to be the Geffen Records. Like, oh, this is going to be horrible. So some people speculate Geffen had a motive too, but I don't know.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of inaccuracies that were put out there right away, of course. And if you watch the documentary, they really point out like how some of those were all perpetuated by Courtney Love. Like so there's early in the news they were saying when he was after his death that his mother had put out a missing persons report on him to the police and said he was suicidal and had a shotgun. No, his mom didn't. That's what the police report reads, yes. But Courtney Love is the one who called in, claimed to be his mother, and made that report.
When she
admitted this on audio confession to Tom Grant. Yeah, she made a police report before he was found, saying he was missing under his mom's name, not under her own. And she admits this to the private eye on audio tape because he recorded all of his conversations with her, that she did this. A lot of people think she hired him. See, she hired him on April 3rd. If he killed himself, it would have been April 4th, April 5th. So who knows? Like, she might have been truly trying to find him at first. Then they found him and things went down and she kept this PI on the loop to try to cover her ass, maybe.
Yeah.
But he really bit her in the ass because he's the one that's kept this alive this whole time. Because, they didn't add up, her bull crap stories. I mean, it's definitely worth a watch, to see it. But basically, during this time period, Kurt Cobain, yes, doing drugs. He left a rehab around April 2nd and was missing. He had left Rome in March where he had overdosed. Really, he had taken a few of a prescription pill and drank alcohol. Later on, this would be played out as he tried to commit suicide by Courtney Love.
Is that when they had the guns and the ammo confiscated? Because there was that one time when they actually
That was earlier. That was farther back. That happened too. That's when they took his guns. Because they were in a domestic dispute, and she said he was suicidal, and they took all his guns.
So did you get your ghost box fired up, Rob?
Yep.
But the real clincher to this, to me, you hear the suicide note, yeah, he probably killed himself. The drugs, the amount of drugs he had in his system should have been enough to just totally incapacitate him or kill him.
That's what I was thinking.
So
I didn't have
the
a
main
chance
theory,
to research it.
Before we get into this, so people know, the main theory is that he had been too high and almost dead, probably could be dead from it, or on his way to death from the amount of heroin he has. Of course, he was a regular user. And one guy who said, he could totally shoot himself, one doctor put out a report where he showed on methadone pills that he could do all these things while high at the same levels. Well, you took pills. He injected it. That goes straight to your heart, man. That's what should have killed him.
Different effect.
And it's really almost instant. And for him to have ejected that and then suddenly killed himself, which statistically there's not many, they talk about this, but there's not really many cases of people getting really high on heroin and killing themselves. You feel really good. That's the point of heroin.
And then you like chill and
I mean, maybe he did it and immediately he ejected and immediately grabbed the gun and shot himself. Maybe, but it'd been really.
I like the theory you had said about.
Well, this is the problem with the forensics of it. Yes, we aren't there. We don't have the forensics, but we have the reports from the police now. They did release crime scene photos, and the problem there is where the shotgun casing, the shell casing, ended up. So you see where his body is there. On the other side of him, his hand's holding the gun. It's rigor mortis tightened to it. So the fact is if he was murdered, he was somewhat conscious when he was, because he might have been fighting it. If he committed suicide, obviously his hand stuck to the barrel as he pulled the trigger like this. The casing should have went out where you see those bags.
The dead man's grip.
Yeah, well, see where the bags are? The casing should have been there, because that's where the side of the what should we call it? The ejection
port. Yep.
Eject port is. But it ended up on the other side, on a little thing of blankets there right before you get to the feeder with the plant where he stuck his suicide note. That casing should not have been there. Only way that could have been there is if somebody was standing right there in front of the ejection port and it bounced off them. And guess what? If somebody was standing right there, why would they be standing there? Because they're somebody, he's putting the gun in his mouth. I would think it'd be a two-person job. One person holding the very drugged Kurt Cobain up while the other one positions the gun and pulls the trigger. I'd actually think it'd be almost two people there. Maybe it was one person if this was a murder. But I think it could have been two people. And the two people. Well, definitely there's the babysitter. Now, what got me started on this is back a couple of years ago, we had Jackie Barrett on our show as a medium.
What about her ex-boyfriend, Rhodey, from Faith No More 2 that was helping her for a while and stuff? Could she have talked him in?
She talked to him in earshot of people, I believe it was him, and told him that she wanted to have Kurt killed and wanted his help. And people heard that. And then he died. Not long after this got out that he was part of this conversation. So did you whack him too? I don't know. But Michael DeWitt was the babysitter. Now, we had Jackie Barrett on the show, and she talked about doing a seance for Jim Morrison in this L.A. party probably 6 or 7 years ago. And there was a guy there who was like, I don't want anything to do with it, and like tried to get away from her, like, because she was a psychic. Well, if you have something to hide, you don't want to be around a psychic, right?
Really?
He ends up freaking out and having like a seizure during the party, and she finds out was Kurt Cobain's nanny, and they have a whole conversation, and she blurts out and talked about the murder. So she admitted, and somewhere in that conversation, she knows it was a murder. This Michael DeWitt took off right after it. Courtney Love paid $30,000 for him to go to rehab, kept him completely away from this private investigator, and when this private investigator tried to talk to the other friend, Dylan, who was more friends with Kurt, because Michael DeWitt was Courtney Love's ex-boyfriend, Dylan didn't want to cooperate. He acted like he was cooperating, but most of the time he was too high. That's the thing. There's all these people involved were big-time heroin users, and times they will do whatever to get their fix. And the possibility is here, Courtney Love inherited millions and millions and millions of dollars in royalty assets. And she could have told these guys, well, Kurt's leaving. He's leaving me. He's going to leave you. Who's going to get you your fix? You want your heroin, you're going to do what I say. And most likely, if somebody murdered him, they shot him up hoping to OD him. And when he was still breathing, somebody like Courtney Love on the phone with him, I bet, said that he could wake up. And if he wakes up, this is over. What if he lives through this? Heroin addicts know that some people can take these high dosages and still live. So just to make sure the job is done, they got the shotgun.
Yep. That's what makes sense to me.
So that's the theory in a very brief nutshell. But there's a lot. I mean, Kurt Cobain was going to divorce her. He had called her attorney. She admitted this, that he had already the day before he killed himself. He was going to take her out of his will.
Yep.
And if you hear her recordings, all she talks about is money when it comes to Kurt being missing. And I was supposed to be out there making money, but Kurt decided to be the one making $10 million at Lollapalooza. I could have been doing that, but I chose to let him do it.
Exactly.
Where is he?
Talk about motive.
Yeah.
And here she is. He's going to divorce her. He's going to quit the band. The money train's going to stop flowing in. So, I mean, they talk about Hollywood having hitmen taking out Hollywood stars. There's a lot of conspiracy theories to that. I mean, Geffen Records, could help fund it. The police detective in charge was total corrupt. Was going to be fired for it, but quit before they did. I mean, so there's so many things bad that went wrong with this investigation. It was too easy for she set it up. And the police went with it. She set up the narrative that he was suicidal, fed the right information. She set it up prior to it, so it was totally pre-planned. If she did this or involved was pre-planned.
And do you think she burned the greenhouse down? Really? I mean, because I know a shitload of people did show up there, and a lot of people have.
There's some ghost stories
tours,
too. There's some ghost stories of people seeing them in
that's
that
what I'm
greenhouse.
saying. Like, because so many people have been there, do you think that's why she took it down, or do you think she was like hiding stuff, or why do you think she burned it?
She didn't burn it. She tore it down.
Or tore it down.
But probably, I mean, guilt. I don't know. Maybe she saw his ghost there. That'd been awesome.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people seen stuff there.
Yeah, that's probably why. I mean, I honestly, my humble opinion, and it's just my opinion, I believe he was murdered, and I believe and those involved around that drug circle were involved. And she wasn't there. Then I'd murder. She got people to do it that were highly involved, and she used drugs to control people.
And who's going to have your burglar? Like, I'm going to install a burglar alarm while the people are like not at home. I'm sorry, but like Jeff, there's always people at home. Like, very rare do you have your alarm installed.
Yeah, she had that set up to have them discover the body. The thing is, people go to Tom Grant like, well, how did you never check the greenhouse? You were there during the time. You could have found his body or even found him before he killed himself. And he's like, they never told me about the greenhouse the whole time. They checked everything. They were checking hotels. They checked that house several times. But Dylan, that was with him, never told him about the greenhouse. And there's supposedly an overheard conversation where Courtney Love's like telling him, don't tell him about the greenhouse. So, or she mentions the greenhouse or something. And Dylan obviously either maybe there's a possibility Courtney Love has no knowledge of any of this. Just benefits. It could be the fact that people around him were just bad people, and maybe they OD'd together and they were scared and they staged it as a suicide. There's all kinds of possibilities. The one possibility that doesn't fly with me is that it was a suicide.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just there's too many loose ends.
All right, so sorry.
I
want to get all that out there before we get into this ITC thing. We'll run out of time. Sorry.
There's too many loose ends, and we'll probably never know the truth unless we hear it tonight.
Jack.
We'll wait for Kurt.
Bye.
I thought I heard something about Francis. You better review this and tag this stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, it says. Is Kurt Cobain here? Can we talk to Kurt Cobain, please?
Or if there's any guides that can help answer questions for him.
Tell us, how did Kurt Cobain die?
Was it a suicide or was he murdered? Who knows what happened to Kurt?
What was the name of Courtney Love's ex-boyfriend who was probably with Kurt when he died and maybe responsible? Or say his nickname.
water.
Ooh, I might have heard it. Callie was his nickname.
Mike. No.
Mike. Yeah, maybe. I heard it. If somebody murdered Kurt Cobain, who was the person who pulled the trigger?
So I'm just,
Or did
Who
Kurt
knows the
Cobain kill
truth of
himself? Sorry.
who knows the truth about this?
sorry, I think you're there. All right.
I heard Tom in there.
Burn it up. When she gets it.
Was that a suicide letter? Was the note meant to be a suicide letter?
She told completely, not complete.
Okay. It's you. The Miller.
So,
Who gave Kurt the drugs? Did Kurt administer the heroin?
Yep. Yep.
Who administered the heroin?
I thought I heard the nickname in there again.
now,
Right after you asked it, Callie.
You need to ask the same questions too, Rob, since you're in the room with the box, just in case.
Yep.
cool.
Because we're not doing the flop flop.
Was using
Are you done?
Did the nanny, Michael DeWitt, have anything to do with it?
Yes. We're talking about Callie here. Did Callie kill Kurt Cobain?
Think
Yes.
so. Mike?
about to, he's just
Why did he do it?
I don't know if I heard Mike right there.
Who told him to do it? Did anyone? If so, who's their name? What's her name? Oh, I thought I heard it. I thought I heard it. Oh, I thought I heard the full
Can
name.
you
in there.
validate the name for us if you're able? If Michael DeWitt was involved, can you say any of his name?
I just
I want to ask this one again. Can you say who put, if Michael DeWitt did it, who put him up to it?
Hey.
you read.
Earlier when we asked the question, I thought I heard the full Courtney Love in there. So I'm saying-
Did Courtney have something to do with it? Did Rhodey know ahead of time that Kurt was going to die? Or Roddy?
No. Was?
Was a professional hitman hired?
Locked.
Did Courtney know he was going to die before he died? You can take over, Rob.
4 and 2. Thank you, and
Listen.
Oh,
Yes.
and have perhaps
Kurt? Yeah. That's who we're trying to talk to.
some
You want to take over, Rob?
Yeah.
fine. I'm just
Was Dylan involved in any way? Kurt's friend Dylan.
nature.
Is anybody else involved? Can you say their name?
All right. I'm going to ask some of the same questions. Was Kurt's death a murder or a suicide?
When was
Come on.
If it was a murder, can you tell us who was responsible?
I heard not a suicide in there a second ago.
Russ Walton is wild.
Was the letter that was found next to him, was it meant to be a suicide letter? Was the letter originally going to be a resignation letter for the industry? Or was it something out of his journal and somebody made it into a suicide letter? I swear it sounded like yes, it is.
So card.
Did Courtney have anything to do with Kurt's death?
Is that good for help?
Something about being hunted.
That should go in and it's gonna go.
Did Kurt haunt her in the home? Did Courtney see his ghost?
Did Courtney know ahead of time that Kurt was going to die?
7.
Was Geffen Records involved in any way?
Walk off.
There is
The on when she said,
nice.
"Do you want layers that like the
Yes.
tricky?"
Ask me tricky. That's the second time somebody said
Well,
Design.
Did the nanny Michael DeWitt have anything to do with Kurt's death?
Fusion.
This all.
they
Say that.
there was some Valium found in Kurt's system. Did somebody slip him that Valium in a drink?
we
Yes.
try
Too much layers that the
Was Alan involved in Kurt's death?
help.
It might have been the first thing they used to knock him out or get him to fall asleep before they injected him with heroin.
I thought I heard it say like trip or trip out when you were saying that.
They would have had to move him to while he's alive to that, greenhouse, probably.
I want don't ruin so that I don't. I'll just be a little.
It again.
Did Roddy know anything ahead of time that Kurt may end up dead?
Sure.
Don't.
They might have got him to go to the greenhouse by telling him that Courtney was there. Over. I don't know. Somehow they got him to go to that greenhouse.
No.
They will.
Did Kurt go to the greenhouse on his own volition, or was he moved there?
Go. You. Sure.
I feel like there's some answer there. I don't know.
So who knows the truth?
Just stop. Intuition.
What time was he found? I think it just said 8:30.
Yeah, in the morning on April 8th.
Now you're a layer.
The death of
I'm like, do you want to do?
Definitely, yeah.
There's two
So Kurt was found around 8:30 in the morning?
peers.
All right.
Can you tell us who found him?
Tracker.
What? Fantastic. Just make.
Fact.
Wait. So 3 weeks better.
Was Kurt conscious when he was murdered?
So you don't get.
How many people were in the room with Kurt when he died?
Me? No.
That's a two.
2? Maybe. That was a late answer, though.
Just
Again, how many people were in the room with Kurt when he died?
What?
Kill. 2? 2 killed him? I heard 2 killed him, is what I heard right there. Can you say the name of the 2 people in the room? Can you say their names?
They put sit.
Say their first names.
Anything. Sit. Circles.
Can you tell us who gave Kurt the drugs?
Yeah. The earliest. Constantly.
Just.
Did Kurt administer the drugs to himself?
Done.
Kurt paid for it. Are you saying Kurt paid for the drugs? Who were the drugs for besides for himself?
Organized drugs? Who organized the drugs for him?
Class activity. Nothing you would find horrid.
Was Kurt's murder planned ahead of time?
May take.
If so, who planned it? DeWitt.
This.
So I'm just,
If Kurt killed himself with a shotgun, how did he pull the trigger? With heroin?
Yeah, with heroin. I heard something about heroin.
just stay here.
If Kurt, why was Kurt murdered?
Come on. I'm just gonna.
Come out.
Two person. Yeah.
Something about two persons. There was a motive. Oh yeah, what was the motive?
No.
Love.
That's weird because when you asked why he was murdered, in my head I was thinking, what was the motive?
Constantly.
Was DeWitt in love with Courtney Love still? Or did you mean love, like Courtney Love?
Oh, Courtney Love.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Are you saying Courtney Love had a motive?
Yep.
What was Courtney Love's motive?
Was the motive money? Was it about money?
Money. That's what I heard. Greed.
Greed because she wanted more fame.
More money. Has Courtney Love ever told anybody else, and if so, who, that she murdered Kurt or had him murdered?
Animal song.
It's like the thinking. It's a bit.
Allegedly.
Silent.
Do your
Bye.
Someone's got to know something. Corrupt.
Truth is what?
scissors.
Nip.
Wait.
Nip.
I have like
Will the Seattle Police Department ever release any more of the information on this case?
the three.
Here's nice.
I always wondered if Frances Bean knew anything about anything.
I have
Because you know, her and her mom got so close.
I doubt she does.
I always wondered.
Is Kurt here with us right now?
doing really
Are there any clues that are being overlooked, or any guides can help relay the message for him? Anything that will help find the truth?
Yes.
Will any of those involved ever confess?
Dad,
Do it or damn it? Maybe not.
little, you know,
Who did it?
some of your get rid of
hey,
Give it. Nip. Nip.
I heard Kurt's name again.
Pete.
Are there any messages that could help?
Help.
I wonder about is if they kept all the evidence, if it's still stored, is there were cigarette butts found that were not Kurt's cigarettes in that ashtray. If they'll ever re-examine those DNA or whatever.
Here's.
some of your get rid of some
Get rid of what?
The evidence, they got rid of it? You heard him say get rid of it?
anything like
Good chances are they did.
almost
Case closed. Throw it out.
Yeah, because if they already did that, then it's not.
They opened the
have
case,
no reason to
re-examined
open
it.
it back up.
They did. The police department re-examined their own files. I'm like, would like someone else examine it, please?
All right. Does anybody in the chat room have a question they want to ask before we turn the Ghost Box off?
Dave and Courtney, not Dave Grohl. No, Dave Grohl wanted to go solo too, and he did. I've met Dave Grohl. He was a good guy. I don't get the killer vibe from him or
The killer vibe.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't meet Courtney Love, but she was a little distance away from me, and she just looked so skanky.
Thank you.
Or do you mean David Geffen? That's the Geffen Records. That might be what you mean. Yeah, that could be a possibility. Geffen Records had a lot at stake.
Zeriana wants to know from Kurt if you regret not being here.
So you're always
Just
Here's a question that's never been answered. From April 2nd to April 3rd, where was Kurt Cobain?
you're always so
He was last seen getting into a taxi in front of the same house he had murdered himself in. Where did he go? Where was he for that day? The missing 2 days, really. Was Kurt Cobain seeing somebody else? Was he in a romantic relationship with somebody else?
Nice. One.
some butter. And motivation for
If
them.
Kurt's here, Tyler wants to know what the name of the song is that you didn't think was going to be as big of a hit as it was.
What was the name of Kurt Cobain's imaginary friend? He put it at the beginning of his letter, supposed suicide note. What's the name?
More time.
I didn't hear it.
No.
In the room.
The water just have to finish.
All right. Well, Kurt, if you were here, thanks for talking to us and any of the other spirits that were trying to help us out. I'll have to go back and re-listen to this one.
It is.
Nope.
Well, there you go. Again, the more questions you ask, the more questions you have.
Yeah, I gave it a suggestion because when you guys, I knew I was going to be on with you guys, and I love doing the cold case stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought this was a good idea since it was on the anniversary of them finding him today. Now we're in the new day of them finding his body.
That was a good call.
Yeah, I still have the heart-shaped box collection from Italy. I mean, like I still have all my Nirvana stuff packed away, but yeah, it made a big impact on me in my life, and his suicide. I was one of those teenager kids that it heavily affected, and I felt something was fishy and wrong with it. And I'll never forget Jackie Barrett being on my show and telling that story about having Michael DeWitt at this party and him, basically saying it was a murder.
Yeah.
We've got 25 minutes left, so if anybody's going to want one of their cards read, put a thumbs up in the comments so we can start putting your name on a list now. So you know, get overlooked. I know we've run over a few minutes the past couple. So if anybody's going to want a reading, just a thumbs up or say thumbs up.
All right, we got Sherry as the first one.
Be that Debbie, Sherry, Azariana,
Yep.
Lori.
Yeah, Heidi, the grunge scene was self-destructive, and what made it really self-destructive was the death of Kurt
Angela.
Cobain.
I'm gonna use my moon ones just because I'm vibing good with these. I don't know which ones Rob's using, Lori. We got Edward. Do you want to start with Debbie?
It's gonna take me a minute. I don't have
Okay.
a light. My light in here is another thing that quit working today right before the show.
I got it, Sherry. Okay, I'll do one for Debbie.
I'll be back in just a second.
What are we? I think we're in the waning crescent phase right now. Believe in the impossible. The blue moon. Oh, you got the blue moon card. Never remember if the blue moon's at the front or at the back. Okay, so believe in the impossible. As the saying goes, some things happen only once in a blue moon. In other words, hardly ever. Drawing this card suggests you're about to get a rare chance and that something one of could well be about to happen. This card is a very positive sign if you felt like you're hoping for too much or asking for too much of the universe. Whatever you're asking about, well, it might only happen once in a blue moon, but it can happen. However, with this rare opportunity before you, it's important that you believe in it. If you convince yourself that whatever you're asking about can never go in your favor, then guess what? It won't go in your favor. Be grateful for this card, which is a reminder to believe in your dreams. To attune to the moon, say, I'm lucky. Excuse me. Additional meanings for the card. Miss this chance and it might not come back anytime soon. What happened may only happen once. The person you're inquiring about is a rare find. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. And this situation is unlikely to repeat. And then I'll read you the teaching since Rob's not back yet. There are usually 3 full moons between each equinox and solace, and vice versa. Sometimes we get 4 full moons in a single season. When that happens, a third of the season's 4 full moons is called a blue moon. At least that's what the original definition was of a blue moon. These days it's popular to use the blue moon for the second full moon in any calendar month that has 2 full moons. I think we're still missing Rob. So we'll do one for Sherry. Do you have any decks you want to use, Jason?
Only deck I have is the tarot deck.
You got another good one. Surrender to the Divine Full Moon card. You guys are getting good cards. I'll find it. The very word climax brings all sorts of ideas and images to mind.
Sure does.
But it really is the feeling of this card. Life is coming to a head, a point, a conclusion, or a turning point. There may be some kind of change and possibly even some sort of emotional explosion. Tune into your emotions now and see what they're telling you. They're very likely close to the surface no matter where in the moon cycle you've pulled this card. Matters will soon conclude and you'll find out whether or not your wishes are going to come true. The odds are in your favor as this is a positive card, but you may need to work harder than usual to keep cool as events unfold. Attuned to the moon, I am getting the answers that I need. Additional meanings for the card. A wish you made may be about to come true. It's make or break time. There could be a sense of madness in the air. Breathe deep and stay calm. You may need to forgive someone to release negative energy. And it's time to let go of the past and move on. And there's Rob. So that was for Sherry.
It's like technical difficulty
Still?
here. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do Azariana.
It's like my little ring light went dead. My normal little flashlight went dead. I went and got another flashlight. It's dead. My overhead light burnt out.
The spirits are draining the power.
I told you this morning I woke up and all my stuff was drained and dead. Emotions are running high. Supermoon. This card suggests
Oh, did we lose her? Uh-oh. I think it froze. Yeah.
how successful something is going to be, such as a job or a relationship. The answer is very. To use common parlance, the answer to your question may well be that it's under your nose. This card is about being larger than life, being special and bursting with energy that you can tune into and work with. You can expect plenty of good things and a positive outcome when this card comes up, but you may find there's a lot of emotion to deal with too. There's also a sense that the opportunities around whatever you're asking about don't come along every day, so take action. Attuned to the moon. Success is close. I just must trust. I just must trust. Additional meanings. A resolution to your question is closer than you may think. Don't ignore the obvious. Something exciting lies ahead, and make sure you don't blow events out of proportion. Speak to the goddess and ask for her assistance. There's Missouri on it. You ready, Ro?
I think so.
You want to do Lori?
Sure. This is kind of a weird deck, so we'll see.
Which one is it?
This is the Wisdom of House of Night.
Of what?
Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle deck.
Ah.
This sucks doing this in the dark. Get the Forbidden card. I don't know if you can see that. And what it's going to say. As your goddess, I'm bringing you this warning. You are about to enter into a situation that will not be easy and could cause others pain. Not all doorways are meant to be opened. Not all relationships are good for you. Not all love is expressed. Not all desires are realized. Right now, I'm saying no to you. The symbol for forbidden also reminds you that although you may feel pain when someone rejects you, this is one of the ways of protecting you. I may whisper in someone's ear to stay away. It's for the best. Even if you don't believe it right now, this is a symbol to move on and choose another path. So that could mean all kinds of things.
Would you like to do Angela?
Sure.
I have like a froggy throat all of a sudden.
This is the success card. And this card says, you must celebrate now as I do, for you have achieved success. Accomplishments are yours now, and you are in a position to reap the rewards of your hard work. The symbol of success reminds you that hard work pays off. Being true to yourself and refusing to compromise will yield good things. Choosing the symbol is a wondrous sign that all is well in your life. The symbol requires you to keep working hard, lest you lose the knowledge you have gained. Now is not the time for slacking off. Keep going and celebrate even the smallest of victories. Be proud of yourself as I am proud of you, remembering everything you choose now will come to be realized. Choose wisely.
Good timing. We have one more. Edward. And 10 minutes left, so that works out perfect. Hmm?
And it's one of those famous pop-out cards. It is the fulfillment. And it says, this is a sign that not all your needs are being met, that you are close to achieving your goal. Celebrate your choices at this time, for you have drawn the symbol. Dude, seriously? My phone just starts playing music in the middle of this. Celebrate your choices at this time, for you have drawn the symbol of fulfillment. Now is the time to integrate and digest what you have learned of late. Savor every moment and know that every encounter is intended to feed your soul. You are meant to have a rich, satisfying life and taste all that experience has to offer. Look around and recognize of the ways that your life is already full. You have so many reasons to feel good about yourself. All is well and will be well when you choose fulfillment. Anybody left?
I think that's it. We have 8 minutes left if we want to finish talking about last thoughts or whatever you guys want to do.
Who's going to be on your show this Sunday, Jason?
Gosh, I should remember the name. God dang it. I already forgot the name. Cleet Keith. He's the author of Ghost of Greystone of Beverly Hills. It's a manor in Beverly Hills.
I've heard Greystone Manor.
Yeah, that's all about that. We got EVP evidence he's going to share. I got the audio files for. We're going to talk about his investigations there. It's been a while since we've done a show on just one haunted location, and all the stories there, so it's going to be cool. Especially, I love it when an investigator has, like, EVP evidence. It's great.
That sounds fun.
Yeah,
I miss those ones.
Deco was using his wisdom of the night. Cool. Yeah, next week we're going to have Steve and Heather, who live here in St. Augustine. They're going to be on the show with us. A Night Among Ghosts. They've got all kinds of new things happening, some new stories, new pictures, all kind of stuff to talk about. And hopefully Steve's going to be helping me with my website as well.
I need to get up on my website. I keep slacking on that.
Oh, for your business?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, Dee, do you want a card? There's always extra cards. It is.
Happy birthday to Dee.
The deceit card.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Dee.
Oh, yeah. All right, this card says, when you choose the symbol of deceit, be very careful about your motives in making your choices. In the House of Night, there is one who has betrayed herself and all those looked up to her. I am also warning you that someone may be stabbing you in the back.
Well, that's always great.
Yeah. Regardless of the circumstances of your question, I warn you about deceit. There will be a price to pay for betrayal in all forms. Only you know how much it will cost. That said, although the energy of betrayal can be seductive, I am stronger. You are forewarned.
So if you have anybody in your life that you have a weird instinct about or a weird gut feeling about, be extra cautious.
Yeah. I always fall back on that intuition, trust your gut, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So many times there's people I met and my gut told me right away I don't like this person, and I would be like, but I have nothing to base that on. And I try to get to know them, and later on it would turn out to be total creepoids or jerks or thieves or liars. And yeah,
I
my gut
knew
was
it.
should have listened to it.
Should listen to
Yep.
it.
Yeah, I've just gotten to learn to listen to mine because it's told me the truth way too many times.
Exactly.
I remember one person I met that I shook their hand and I didn't know him, didn't know anything about
Did
him.
you have the Christopher Walken moment?
Yeah, exactly. I was nice on the outside. My insides were going, you know, it was just like, and sure enough, that person turned out to be a total douche nozzle.
There's a great SNL skit they did of Christopher Walken of like him like doing the Dead Zone skit. Like he's like everybody's hands. He's like, oh, he's seeing some.
Yeah.
And then he tells him in the skit, he tells him like these most asinine things that are gonna happen to him. I see you taking a dump on the toilet. You know, like something really stupid.
Yep. Yep. That was a pretty good cheeseburger that you had, by the way, there, Debbie. But yeah, first time I met Debbie in person, in real life. She came to one of my shows and I was up on the stage playing and I looked it up and I was like, oh, that looks familiar. Holy shit, that's Debbie. She didn't, wasn't a photo bomb. It was a real life in person bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, showed up. And then I thought I was going to see her kick some drunk guy's ass.
Oh, Dee says she does have feelings about that about a person.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Cards don't lie.
They don't.
Yep, I was getting ready to like say something to this guy, and all of a sudden Debbie just like put a verbal ass whipping on him. I'm like, damn, this girl can take care of herself. You're welcome, D. Yeah, I know. He kept just reaching over and taking food off your plate. Not cool.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
I'd be getting pissed too.
Yeah,
I do miss playing shows. I do miss going and like doing that. Back in the grunge days and playing shows and all that. But I was before I was 21. I wasn't doing bars. I was doing like coffee houses and stuff. I can't stand drunk people. If I would have kept in bands, I don't think I could have done it, Rob, like you do. If I can't do bars, I don't. I want to get an EpiPen for drunk people. There, I'm allergic to them too. Like
exactly. The last gig we had, I don't know, 2 weekends ago, we had these people from Michigan that showed up. And they're like, probably like my age or something. And they were shit faced. They were cool, but they were just hammered. Like,
I've had to deal with the stone people. Like, yeah, good man. Like, make some trippy music and like,
Big time.
Yeah, we were playing music, and they got up and they started dancing, and they knocked the bar stool over with the tip jar. They like almost knocked my mic stand over, and they're, I'm sorry. I'm like, hey, every time you knock something over, you got to put another 20 in the tip jar. And so they kept feeding it. But yeah, we usually, we don't play the totally rowdy bars, but it got pretty rowdy that night. People from Michigan showed up.
We just had someone from Michigan pop in the chat.
There you go.
Laura, Michigan in the house.
Yep. Yeah, my drummer was like, damn, next time Michigan people show up, we're going to nail the furniture down.
We're down to the last minute.
Cool. So yeah, next week we got Steve and Heather from A Night Among Ghosts, and then like 2 weeks later we're going to have the same guest that Jason had on, and I'm having a total brain fart on her name. Jonah Kay. There you go.
K.
Oh.
She'll be on with us and probably be uncensored. I'm just saying.
Yeah, she'll get to cuss all the stuff I had to stop her from cussing on my show.
Yep, exactly. So it ought to be a good one. So anyways, thanks for hanging out with us. As always, love all you guys in the chat room. You're the ones that make both of our shows all good. Without y'all, we'd just be hanging out talking to ourselves.
Remember, people.
Drugs are bad. Okay.
Especially if you're in Florida. Don't go swimming naked in the canal and crawl in a hole and go wandering in a tunnel. Don't go sewer spelunking.
Sewer spelunking.
That's my advice for the week. Y'all have a great night. Thanks. See you Sunday on Paranormal Soup. Bye-bye.
See you.